Yeah.
The world is on pause for a respiratory disease, right? Like I'm having trouble breathing. Like this is the type of infection I'm getting.
Yeah, yeah.
So I need toilet paper.
We live?
We live.
We live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil, of course.
I'm Alex. And man, I remember the other day we got into this. It was a while ago actually. It was like 2 years ago, or whenever Endgame came out. All of us were like, "Yo, this is the best movie ever."
False.
Right? Or at least not the best. At least the best Marvel movie ever. Right?
False.
And I still hold that ground because I feel like it stood the testament of time. But you were chirping Infinity War the whole time, even after you saw Endgame.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I still think Endgame was better. I think recently, especially now, in our current state, the year 2020, March 18th, March 25th, around this time, that we become prisoners of the moments and things, Like we rush to decisions based off something you just saw before you get all the facts or before you look back at other things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So it's like when you're dating multiple people, but you kind of prefer like the newest one.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And not that, probably know someone who has this experience all the time because we hear about these stories. But the new girl is always the littest one.
Right.
But then you find out this girl that you have for 8 months has turned out to be the best.
Right.
Right? So we get into this habit of becoming prisoners of the moment. I don't know if this is something that we need to really worry about. But I feel like lately it's something that has become a strain on our society.
I feel like we do need to worry about it because it definitely affects your ability to really objectively look at things and like realize if you should be putting as much energy into something as you are, or if you should be putting it somewhere else.
Because there's definitely a recency bias in humans, where humans are, like the thing that happened.
Is that the term that I'm looking for?
Yeah, it's definitely recency bias is a real thing. We'll link articles if we need to describe it.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's definitely a thing where the thing that happened most recently, this is a weird thing with humans, right? So this thing that happened a very long time ago that we remember very fondly, nostalgia. And there's things that happened very recently that we also think are like extremely great. But if you find like somewhere in between that middle area, it's like it could be whatever.
Right. Right.
So whatever. So I'll talk about like Sonic 2 or whatever, one of my favorite games I ever played. Like 1990 something, 1992, whatever. Oh, one of the best games ever. That you compare it to today's games, it's like 3D graphics, all that type of stuff. It's really not comparable, but it holds the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also compare it to the recent games. Somewhere like if I'm comparing to a game from like 2006, it'll be like that game was whatever.
You can't really call it a classic. Like there's the classics and there's like the blockbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
And like everything in between doesn't really matter, but they should.
They should. Don't get me wrong. And as more time goes on, you'd be like, oh damn, I forgot about this movie or whatever. But what really annoys me, man, especially what's going on like today, is that people just are reacting way too emotionally to things. And I don't know if it's because like the media's telling them to, the media's causing panic, or which I believe they are, and the media likes to do that type of stuff. More views, especially with more people at home. Definitely be more views.
Right.
But how much responsibility put on people for not being able to react logically?
Well, I feel like they don't even realize that that we are being prisoners of the moment, because it's natural to, it's a reflex.
Yeah, no, definitely is. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you get into a fight with somebody and they say something that's mean about you, whether it's true or not, you're gonna become instantly defensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that could apply to something even more general, like let's say you hear news about like some other black man was shot and killed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that was all it said: black man shot and killed.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty sure a large population of the black community would instantly get upset, right? But then what if it comes out later that he was actually being belligerent and he was justifiably shot and killed?
Mm-hmm.
And that, now what? You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the kind of thing where I feel like even though it's a knee jerk reaction, I mean, it's fine. It's fine to have it. It's fine to have that reaction, but you can't act on it, and you shouldn't like, speak on it, act on it, whatever. Make your whole opinion based on that reaction.
That's a good point. Because honestly, I remember there's one thing that my uncle always told me. Like he always said you need to like remove yourself from the situations so you can be able to make an intelligent decision. Right?
Right.
There's a difference between reacting emotionally and reacting logically. And whenever something just happens, it's very hard to react logically to it. Right? There'll always be an emotional reaction from it.
I feel like reacting logically is kind of like an oxymoron, though, because if you're being logical, are you really being reactionary, or are you being calculated?
I hear what you're saying, but I feel like there are times where, like, your reaction to something will be like, say something like happened across the street, like somebody, just something random happened across the street, like you see like pink balloons across the street.
Okay.
And you think it's like a sign, like, and you just saw the movie It, right?
Okay.
So now you're thinking like you see pink balloons come out from the sewer, you're like your reaction might be like, oh, some crazy shit's going down there, or somebody's pranking me or whatever.
Right.
But then you take like 5 seconds or 10 seconds and be like, all right, I'm probably being dramatic, and then I see a child's birthday party right down the road, and these balloons probably just got away.
Right.
But
then at that point, it's not a reaction.
Is your initial reaction that hesitation then? So should you hesitate before you react then? Is that like what I'm trying to say here? Cause I feel like this is taking me too far where I don't react when I'm feeling too high. Like I don't make decisions when I'm too high or too low.
Right.
Right. That's when like the worst time to make decisions is
right.
when you're too high or too low. Because think about how many times you've done something because you were feeling like you were in a great mood, and then it's like, oh damn, I agreed to go to this party tomorrow, and I fucking hate parties. Right? Like, oh, I just had a great day today. I'm feeling good. Oh yeah, I'll do this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then tomorrow comes and it's like, why would I agree to do this shit?
Yeah, all the time.
Right? Or you're reacting low and then you just like, and vice versa, right?
Yeah, if you're low, then you say something that you probably don't mean, and now this person is all in their feelings and stuff like that.
Exactly. So I feel like we don't do enough of that in our society. Like whether personally or individually. Like,
but what would be the benefit of that?
What would be the benefit? I mean, you wouldn't have panic. Like, people would not be panicking as much over things. Think about our political culture right now, right? Everything is reactionary. Everything is reactionary. Oh, he said what? He said, you know what I'm saying? Like, she said this.
Bro, I remember, I don't think. It was during, I don't remember who it was. I think it was Matt Damon or something. It was during the Me Too era when it was just starting off.
Yeah.
And he was he was
Mm-hmm.
like, I feel like a woman who was groped doesn't have it as bad as a woman who was raped.
Yeah.
He got torn up for that. How dare you minimize this woman's trauma? And I'm like, please ask a rape victim if what happened to her was basically like being groped. I dare you to do that. I dare you to do that.
And this is the thing too. I don't know if it's a mob mentality thing too, where, I feel like it's definitely a mob mentality thing on Twitter. I bet all those people that reacted that way were on Twitter. But where do we like? Why have we stopped taking steps back and be like, okay, this is what happened? Okay, maybe I should get all the facts. Or maybe I should just think about what this person has said instead of being caught up in this moment of, oh, everyone's going through this Me Too thing. Oh, now it's my turn. This guy said something that was counter to it. Mm-hmm. Even if it had logic in it, mm-hmm. No, fuck that. You would counter to what's going on right now, mm-hmm. and that's not valid anymore. Like, how do we move forward to get people to not, like, is there some type of training that we have to do, like, to not react right away to things?
I feel like with so much information out there, and with everyone walking on eggshells, really, like, you just want to make sure that you're on the forefront of what's seen as the right thing as soon as possible. Because people would judge you not only for being, saying the wrong thing, but they'll also judge you for being late with it, too.
I'd much rather be late with it, though. Like, I'd much rather have a judgment for being late with a reaction to, like,
that's logical.
Who the hell are you to tell me when I'm supposed to react?
And that's logical.
You know
but think back to the Juicy Smoulier thing, right? And how
there was a lot of people that delayed their reaction.
A lot of people didn't say anything for a long time. They're like, yo, do you hate gay people too? What's going on? But, like, we just want all the facts, bro. But apparently that wasn't okay.
A man getting jumped in the middle of Chicago by two white guys screaming, like calling you nigger and all this type of stuff.
Yeah, some faggot nigger or something like that.
From Empire? Like two white guys just couldn't know that from the.
We didn't jump on it saying, "Oh my God, this is horrible." We didn't do that right away, and we were almost persecuted for it.
It's logical
because we didn't react emotionally.
It's the logical thing to do, and man, like it's just really trying times because some of the things we're going through right now is like, okay, if you're alive in the year 2020, it's mid-March. It's late. No, it's the end of March.
Poor you, by the way.
You know, yeah. Well, different story. If you're alive right now, chances are your city's being under quarantine, right? If you live in the U.S. or other European countries, chances are your city's under quarantine. Your sports league are canceled. You can't go to the gym.
Right.
You can't eat at restaurants, bars, libraries, etc., etc.
The world's on pause.
The world is on pause. And a lot of this seems against the advice of medical experts, where medical experts would advise you to, yeah, we should, there should be some type of quarantine. But, like, why the hell is there a freaking shortage in toilet paper? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just things that don't make any sense. Like,
yeah.
The world is on pause for a respiratory disease, right? Like, I'm having trouble breathing. Like, this is the type of infection I'm getting.
Yeah.
So I need toilet paper. What's going on here?
So you feel like one person stockpiled toilet paper, like, huh? And everyone else is like, I think I might need this too, since he's stockpiling it, right?
Like, man, the stock market's apparently going in the trash, but I really wish I invested in Charmin, man.
Oh, facts.
I really wish I...
Or who makes hand sanitizer? Whoever that was.
Lysol, Johnson, Purell, yeah, Johnson & Johnson, whatever these companies are, like, none of this stuff makes sense, bro. And even if the media is doing this to scare people, like, you know what I'm saying? Without alluding to the specific virus we're talking about, this is one of the things where I feel like a conspiracy guy has a lot of leeway on.
Why do you say that?
Because a lot of it is the lack of deaths, or the percentage of deaths, I'll say, right? If you look at, they'll throw you the number at you, but they won't throw you, like, the mortality rate at you.
Mm-hmm.
And why won't you throw the mortality rate at us? Because when you throw the mortality rate at it...
It puts it in perspective.
Yes, and it seems like, maybe we're reacting a little crazy to this. And then
right.
What age of the people are dying?
So they're saying 3,000 people died, but they're not saying 4 million people had it.
Exactly, right? And then it's like, and then out of that 3,000 people who died, 95% were above the age of 85 or 80, right? And these are the things where it's like, it seems like there's something going on, and now the world's on, like, now a lot of the world's being quarantined, a lot of things are being shut down.
Mm-hmm. So who's about to make a power move?
Exactly, right? It seems like I'll give a conspiracy guy some credit on this. Not credit so much to say, but I'll be willing to listen to.
Because he's putting logic to it.
Yeah, he's putting logic to it, right? It's like, why is all this really necessary right now? And then you'll have some experts say, yeah, some of this is necessary. Mm-hmm. But then you'll see the other stuff and be like, the toilet paper thing, I just don't understand. I don't understand the toilet paper.
But at the same time, there are some situations where being emotionally reactionary is a good thing.
You're right. You know what comes to my mind? Comes to my mind is seeing hundreds of people, get bodied, right? Hundreds of people get bodied in, like, let's say, like a mass killing, right? Mm-hmm. And the person who has done this before. And your logic, you have some moral code that tells you to operate, like, that makes you operate in some way.
Right.
But your emotional reaction in the situation will tell you to kill this person.
Sure.
And this person is also posing a threat.
Yes.
So I feel like that's a great situation where reacting.
Well, who are you?
Who am I?
That's important.
I'm a protector of a city.
No, but who are you specifically? Are you someone who can afford to react emotionally?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
I am. Right? You're absolutely not.
If I am Batman, I can react.
You're absolutely not allowed to react emotionally if you're Batman.
Man, I feel like Batman is one of those guys who should actually react emotionally.
You can believe that if you want to.
He should.
That's your opinion.
He should.
That's fine as far as your opinion goes.
Batman should see Joker and be like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of you. Battering, neck, game over.
Introduced it to
all is said and done.
You can believe that if you want.
Right.
But I believe that he'll be a lot less effective if he reacted emotionally. My opinion.
But there are certain situations where you shouldn't. Well, all right. Yeah. So what's the situation where you should react emotionally, though?
Well, we're talking about, if we're talking about like, I want to go to like the extreme. You know, let's say there's this thing in your environment that's killing children and innocent people left and right.
Uh-huh.
You have control over how many of these things are distributed and to who is being distributed. Right?
Wait, say again?
So there is this thing in your environment that is killing innocent people and children left and right.
Yeah.
Like, there was a time when it was probably almost like every 2 weeks, it was like killing like droves of them.
Okay.
Right? You have control over how many of these things are distributed, what types of these things are distributed, and to whom they are distributed to.
Uh-huh.
And so once they kill, like just one collection of children, like let's say like little children, let's say like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds,
Uh-huh.
would you not think that in that moment it is appropriate as, let's say, the governing body of that environment to react emotionally and say, let's put this thing on hold for now until we figure out a way to properly introduce it into the environment?
Is that an emotional reaction or a logical reaction, though?
Because it's one of the logical fallacies where it's called like an emotional plea, like think about the children kind of thing.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
So I'm saying like these kids just died and it's because of this thing.
Yeah.
So your reaction emotionally, naturally, I would think, is to get rid of this thing right away.
Makes sense.
And then think about how to reintroduce it later on, if ever.
There's no need for me to reintroduce that,
But that's not what's been going on. And I'm pretty sure, if you don't know by now, I'm talking about gun control.
Uh-huh.
Right? You have Sandy Hook, you have all the other stuff that's been happening, school shootings left and right, because people have guns who shouldn't.
So you're proposing a ban on this thing?
No, more control of this thing. Or some reactionary measure taken that directly addresses this thing. I feel like that will be called for, because it's literally killing innocent children. As the governing body of that environment, that is called for.
But then isn't the logical thing to figure out like what happens if you take these things out, though?
Well, you can think about that after.
Because it's not only killing children. It's also
right
carrying out other facets of protection.
Of course. And I'm saying maybe think about that stuff after you did what you had to do to make the children safer.
I see what you're getting at. But I don't know, man. That's tough. Gun control's a tough one. Especially in this scenario.
Probably the messiest example, but that's the first thing that popped into my mind.
One of my things is like, especially for these toilet paper buying people, is like, what inspired you to buy this toilet paper?
They saw everyone else buying toilet paper.
So you're just feeding into the hype. You don't even believe, like, you don't even know why you're doing what you're doing. Like, you're just a sheep.
Right.
Which is another reason why I'm going to this conspiracy guy. Like,
he's the only one thinking for himself, right?
Yeah, like, clearly, man. Like, these people out here doing stuff and they don't know the reason to why they're doing it. Like, make it make sense to me. I don't understand how it makes sense.
I can't tell you, man. I mean, I'm sure we've all been. I mean, when you think about children, that's kind of what they do.
Yeah, children can do that. Not grown ass adults fighting over a roll of toilet paper, fucking 3-on-1 versus toilet paper, or like I'm going to every supermarket in the freaking America and there's no damn chicken left, man. Like, make it make sense to me, bro. Why is there no chicken left at any of my stores?
There's been a lot of social experiments about that too. Like there was like a camera in an elevator, right? A bunch of actors in an elevator pretend like they're strangers.
Yeah.
Someone else walks in, a single person. When they walk in, the doors close. All the actors turn around and face the back wall. You know what the other person does? They turn around and face the back wall. They don't know why. They don't know what's going on. But if everyone's doing this, then it must be the right thing to do, right?
No. When did we lose our ability to think independently? Like, why?
We're humans. We're social animals.
We are social animals.
And if something is emotionally hitting you, like it's hitting you, like you feel worse, you feel wrong if you don't react to that. You feel like you're not doing the right thing.
And a lot of things can emotionally hit you, which is fine. But even past the point of being a prisoner in the moment, where like, does that mean you just can't think for yourself? Like,
well, you can't think for yourself in the moment.
No, for me, like me watching Endgame, right? The Marvel movie,
Mm-hmm.
Endgame. Me watching that, I'm coming to that decision like, oh, this is the greatest movie. This is the greatest Marvel movie ever. But that's the decision I came to by myself, though.
You weren't
Like,
just saying that because everyone else was saying that?
no, like I said, right after I watched the movie. Maybe I was, but like I was still able to like watch the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm like, oh, this is the best one, if not at least top 3.
Not enough Thanos, but different discussion.
Different discussion, right? It's at least top 3, right?
Sure, yeah.
And I can lodge. When did we? So does being a prisoner in the moment mean I can't think independently too? Is that like a characteristic of this thing?
I feel like I want to separate those two. Because being prisoner of the moment is a temporary thing. And if people would admit that they were, and then they later on admit that, hey, I was quick to judge, here's what I think now, then it'd be different. But you can still be quick to judge and think for yourself afterwards.
How long does this last though?
I don't know.
Like how?
Maybe until the hype dies down. Maybe until there's a big enough body that opposes your group think. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Like, would you really
say that?
Would you really think Jesse Smollett was wrong if there wasn't a large group of people opposing that? Would you really think the Me Too movement could have gone too far if there wasn't a huge movement that opposed it? If it was just like a small offshoot, you'd probably like, fuck those guys.
But is that not fair? Are you more? I feel like you would think that you just wouldn't say nothing though.
You might, but we're talking about the majority of people. They would go with the bigger body. They would go with the bigger movement, I feel like. Unless you were with the smaller movement from the start.
No, I mean I know what you're saying. It reminds me of the French Revolution. For anyone who doesn't remember history, or maybe people don't know. People don't know about it, but like.
Let's say I don't. What happened?
When those dudes, like one of the kings was really unpopular, and they just like had enough, like a massive.
The proletariats.
Yeah, they were done. It was like right shortly after the American Revolution, I believe. They were fighting like Britain for whatever reason, and then they had their own war, where these dudes just started like offing people.
The rich people.
Yeah, they started offing everybody.
They started getting all the nobles.
Everybody.
Guillotine.
Like guillotine. Yo, you queen. Oh, you're the count. You're the queen's cousin.
Oh.
Come with me. Like it was like kind of a force.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get to that. Like I feel like we're at that point. But we don't do it with killing people, but we do it with the things we. I feel like we do a lot in politics for one, where if you say something like that, but I feel like even like LGBTQ for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say something that's against them, oh, your ass is getting fried.
If you don't have backup, oh for sure.
Yeah, if you're not backup, you're getting fried. Like if you just say something, if you make a joke and like, oh, you know, like we talk about the Chappelle thing or whatever, but you make a joke. I mean, apparently these people you can't joke about now.
Refer to Caitlyn Jenner by Bruce Jenner, back when she was Bruce Jenner, and you could be done. Your career could be over for that. Why? Because this one person said that this was distasteful, so it must be this. If you could offend somebody, that means you're wrong, and now everyone must think that you're wrong.
Yeah, I just need to know, how do we get away from this mob mentality? And the mob mentality that comes from being a prisoner of the moment. Like I feel like it's not even. And the reason I say it's mob mentality because you're not thinking independently. It's not even your own belief. Like you don't believe what's going on.
You just gotta recognize it.
How?
Recognize that what you feel in the moment is just for the moment. Because everyone knows that how you feel reaction, like in response to something, like right away, is not how you really feel. That's just your reaction.
Yeah, like my favorite example is like think how many times you were in like in an argument, and then you think, or like just a conversation, and you go back home and it's like, oh man, I wish I said this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
you were investing emotionally into something.
Many times in the podcast, I watch the episode over, like, wait, why didn't I say this? Because when you're recording, when you're in the conversation, it's completely different.
So how do we get people away from this? I feel like there needs to be a checklist or something that we have to go down where it's like, yo, stop being a dumbass. Focus. Like take a deep breath, do some research. Like don't do anything. Like one of my things I like to do if I don't react emotionally, right? And this time I don't mind reacting emotionally, like on the basketball court or whatever, like playing sports. I feel like that's fine to react emotionally, like playing a sport or whatever. You still have to keep your head though. I think like one thing that really helps me out is like take a deep breath, or just like don't do anything for like 5 seconds after you see. But
you have to recognize at that point that right now what you're feeling isn't what you truly think, isn't what you truly believe. That it could just be a fleeting feeling.
Yeah,
you have to have that. You have to have some sort of self-awareness in that moment as well, which is difficult. Which is a skill that you can learn, but it's difficult to learn.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm really just like especially what's going on in the end of March 2020.
Right.
I just feel like certain things are going too far because people are either not doing their research,
Mm-hmm.
they're being prisoners of the moment and they're just reacting with the mob, or they're being misguided by media sources and not listening to, let's say, the professionals or experts on this specific matter, right? And while the media is reporting on some of the suggestions that these experts have,
Mm-hmm.
they're using those suggestions. It's like the
In
person,
a very specific way.
yeah, and like I suggest you brush your teeth every 2 days. I mean, I suggest you brush your teeth twice a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go with this brushing your teeth thing, and then you just you ramp it up to a level like if you don't brush your teeth, you'll die, or like you'll
Right.
freaking
You lose all your teeth.
Yep. If you brush your teeth, and if you don't brush your teeth twice, if there's one day you don't brush your teeth, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know,
you're putting everyone else at risk at the same time.
exactly, right? And I feel like they're using it to their own narrative because now, let's say I'm a media person, I'm also in connects with the toothpaste companies,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can make some money off scaring people to brush their teeth more. I feel like a lot of this is happening. And this is why I believe in these conspiracy guys, man. I feel like one of these guys is connected with like ABC or something. Like one of these guys is connected with Charmin. Like ABC probably owns Charmin. Or Disney, bro. Like one of these guys owns Charmin or Purell or Lysol. And these dudes are just acting crazy. Like all over stuff that doesn't make any sense to me, man. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I feel like research should definitely be one of the things on that list. I feel like the self-awareness that or the decision to not act right away should also be on that list. That just some patience, hesitation. If you feel compelled to do something immediately after receiving some new information, you should stop.
Well, yeah, 100%. I'm just sick of people doing things and they don't know the reason.
But think, if you're in a post-apocalyptic world and you see people like you're just going all along your way, walking on the road, trying to survive, and you see one guy pass you and he's carrying, let's say, like a specific, like he has like a bunch of like a specific type of plant. You don't know what this plant is. You see him walk by with, he has like a bunch of it, as much as he can carry. 20 minutes later, you see a family, and every member of the family has as much of this plant as they can carry, and they're going with it. Weird. You keep going, and you see people walking all around, and they have all of them. They have this specific plant. You don't know what the hell this plant is. You don't know what it is, but everyone's getting as much as they can, and it looks like this is what they need. So now, when you keep walking and you come across this plant, you don't know what it is. What are you gonna do?
What if I do know what it is?
No, but
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
But everyone else is getting this as much as they can, and everyone you ran into so far has gotten it.
In this specific situation, I'm gonna assume that I need it. Right. I'm going to assume that I need it.
Right.
Especially because I don't know what it is. My assumptions will be, if I don't talk to any of these people, I'm scared to talk to these people because it's post-apocalyptic, and everyone's scared to like die, or people like there's no law or whatever.
Right.
I will assume I need it. I will assume this plant has some type of healing prowess, right, or some type of disinfectant prowess that will help me survive. But if I do know what it is, right?
Like, if it's toilet paper that they're carrying?
Yes. If I know it's something just used to wipe my ass after I use the bathroom, I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to think all of a sudden, because it's the apocalypse, I'm going to need 100 rolls to wipe my ass now.
You don't think that if all these people are doing it, then maybe they know something I don't know?
No, because I know what toilet paper is used for.
Yeah, but do you know if it's like one of those things that you don't think you'll need, but it turns out that you actually need it in the post-apocalyptic world?
No, because it's not the apocalypse yet. So, in our scenario, in our real life scenario, where the apocalypse hasn't happened, and it probably won't, but let's just say
it's not gonna happen.
It won't. But hey, cool. I know what this thing is used for.
I get what you mean.
There's no reason all of a sudden I would just need 1 million of these things now.
I get what you mean, but I'm also saying that you gotta understand where they're coming from.
No, where they're coming from
because they think that they're ignorant at that point. If everyone's doing this thing, then you might, and because they think that they're ignorant, the right thing to do isn't to get it yourself in the situation. It will be to research. Because we still have the internet.
We have the internet.
We still have a lot of resources.
All right, so if me being a just a semi-aware person, right? Semi-aware,
Okay.
right? Semi-aware. The news does not make as much money as it did before with the internet, right?
Right.
I feel like this is common knowledge that everyone knows, right? Common knowledge
Yeah.
that
Newspapers.
and all these big companies do not make as much money as before.
Right.
Common knowledge that cable isn't as prevalent as
Right.
before with the internet.
Right. Right.
So less advertising money,
Sure.
right? Common knowledge. So, if there's something that will make me watch the news, right? And make everyone watch the news, do I not have to be aware of some, not hidden, no, hidden, like I have to be aware of some motives here and hidden
You sound
agendas?
like the conspiracy guy right now.
Not a conspiracy guy. That's a guy who puts two things together. Where
That's what a conspiracy guy is.
this person's not making money. This thing happens. I'm gonna use this thing to make me some money.
At the expense of a lot of lives.
Not at the expense of a lot of lives, but at the expense of, hey, everyone's watching my stuff now, so I can make more money
But
again.
at what cost?
I don't care. I'm making more money again. So
Sounds like a lot of big corporations.
it's not even I'm in cahoots with the Charmins and Lysol. It's that, hey, there's scary things happening or
People want to be
supposedly
updated.
scary. So I'm gonna keep ramping up these stories and framing my stats in a way that make this thing seem scarier than it is.
That's a logical
Very logical.
deduction.
And it's not even. It's like there's no crazy conspiracy going
That's
there.
a logical deduction.
Very logical, very reasonable.
But if you're worried about
But what?
the things that a lot of people are worried about right now, like let's say,
All right. If I was to worry about it, right? This disease is taking over this.
virus.
Yes. We'll call it a virus, right? Say we have a virus or a cancer taking over the world. But I've not met one person who's died from it. Not one. I know about like maybe 2 people who had it, and they recovered wonderfully, right? So everyone around me seems to be
You gotta
recovering.
be careful with that, though.
Right? Everyone's recovering.
You gotta be careful with that, though. People you know are recovering.
Okay, yes, people I know. And then the majority of people I see that have had it or will get it have recovered. And I see, okay, maybe some older folks are dying, which is going to happen with a new disease that's very contagious, of course. I'm not saying screw those people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Of course.
But I'm just saying, let me just be
They're at higher risk.
Let me just be aware of this fact that we have a lot of people dying of this contagious disease that are gonna die soon anyways.
Theoretically.
Yeah, right. So does it make sense for me to all of a sudden just buy toilet paper because these people at risk for disease
Not
are dying?
because these people at risk for disease are dying, but because everyone else seems to really think this toilet paper stuff is important.
I don't know, man. There must be like some magic.
And at that point, you should stop and you should think, well, why is it important? Is it really important? And should I waste my time? Like when you get on the elevator, everyone turns around. Why are they turned around? Is there something there? Should I do the same thing?
I get where you're going with your elevator example. I like this elevator example. I've seen the experiment too as well.
Right.
It's a very good example. But if everyone turns around this elevator, maybe I just think there's on the other floor, the door's on the other side.
It
right?
could be. It could be.
Right?
It could be.
That's logical. There is no other use for toilet paper besides blowing your nose and wiping your bum.
That you know of. In a post-apocalyptic world, it could be something else entirely.
The apocalypse hasn't happened yet, man.
You can't prepare for the apocalypse when it already happened. You gotta prepare for the post-apocalyptic and the pre-apocalyptic.
You're right, man. I'm gonna buy into the hype. The apocalypse has happened. Let me go buy some toilet paper.
There you go. That's the lesson of the episode today.
Like, do you see how ridiculous it sounds? I hope people realize how ridiculous it sounds.
It sounds ridiculous in hindsight, not in the moment.
No.
Not in the moment.
It's not hindsight. The thing's not over.
No, but to us, like the toilet paper like phenomenon already happened.
No, it's still happening.
Okay, but a lot of it has already happened. We've seen it happen. We're not in the throngs of it anymore, so to speak.
When would you ever go buy 12 rolls of toilet paper?
I cannot answer that question for you. I don't know.
Like not 12 rolls, like 12 packs. Like 12 like 4 packs of toilet paper.
This dude had a cart full of ramen noodles. That made more sense to me.
Sure, that would always make sense to me.
Stock food.
Ramen noodles are cheap, and you want to buy you could buy a freaking truck full of ramen noodles, and that will make sense to me at any time of the year. And if you think the world's gonna end, it'll still make sense to me.
I can't answer your question. I feel like to answer your question, what should we do to free these prisoners of the moment? Have them stop. Realize that this is a moment. Stop, think, research.
See, is that too much? You know what the problem is right there? You know what?
Then act. Stop, think,
too
research,
much work.
act.
Too much work, man. I expect too much from people. You said think. You said think and research. You stop it, man. That's not happening. Man,
That's what you got to do, though. And if you're,
if
you're listening and you're one of the people who stockpiled on toilet paper, think about why.
That's what I'm saying. No, yeah.
Think about why you did it.
Come on, man.
And did it really pay off? And would you really do it again? Do you feel like you made a mistake? Do you feel like you were a prisoner of that moment? Did you feel like you adopted that mob mentality? You might have. It's important to recognize that and think about what you can do in the future, because that's not really a safe way to live your life. Because you can get manipulated pretty easily that way.
Yes, you can.
Because like you said, it could be this whole behind the scenes things to get you to watch the news, buy this product, distract you from something else that's going on, if you just feed into the moment every time.
You know, man, and I feel one thing we haven't touched on is these distractions, right? Once again, not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but
you gotta touch my face. Gotta just.
What happened? What happened, man?
My eye's itching.
Oh, it's itching. Oh, damn. All right, you might be going. You might have it. You might have it. Don't cough, bro. Right? That's not sound like a conspiracy theorist. But if I was one of these people that is easily manipulated by, like, the distraction thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm easily distracted by, this thing's going on. There's a 24-hour news thing going on. Like, what else is happening that the news is not covering?
Exactly.
Like, I'm sure the world didn't stop because this thing is happening.
So while I'm worried about where am I gonna get more toilet paper,
these dudes just raised the taxes on my gas bill, or they just passed some laws that will cut my Social Security benefits in the year 27.
In fact, I saw that in a bill that was meant to address some of the hype that's going on right now with the thing that's going around.
Yeah.
There was actually some actions in there regarding abortion rights, just like tacked on into it. Like, you wouldn't even notice it. Because what's everyone looking at? The measures to take care of this current crisis.
That's the one thing I really need people to focus on. Like, while you're buying toilet paper, and while you're scared of this thing that's going to happen, there is still other stuff going on in the world. And I know a lot of places have closed. The day is March 25th, or we're in the last couple weeks of March, right? A lot of stuff is closed, but still a lot of stuff is open. So a lot of people going to suffer from these irrational decisions that some people are making. And there's still laws being passed, right? So maybe just have some awareness on things outside of the one thing the media is telling you to think about. That's just my 2 cents, man. That's just my 2 cents for not being in prison in the moment.
That's a good 2 cents.
I
stop, think, research, act.
Stop buying toilet paper, please. This is ridiculous, man. There's people that really need toilet paper now, and now what they do, man. I hope y'all happy. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope y'all happy.
Let us know what you guys think. Leave your comments down below about what it means to you to be prisoners of the moment, and what can we do to address this, what I want to call it, social phenomenon.
Yeah, I'm sick of y'all, so I was going to say the outro. Opinion Property Podcast. Find us on YouTube, Apple, Stitcher, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we drop a new video.
It takes 2 seconds.
Share with your friends.
We'll appreciate that.
Family, coworkers, etc. We will have some new merchandise for you guys coming very soon. the mugs that you see on our table.
Not this though. Not the
Will
sanitizer.
No, that sanitizer is probably going for $80, so I'll be down to sell it. But
True.
we'll have some merchandise coming for you guys really soon. Support the pod, and we will see y'all
Next week.